An awful lot to bring you up to speed with here, both on our local weather forecast and with new developments in the tropics today, as we now have Tropical Storm Lee and Tropical Storm Maria to monitor in addition to Hurricane Jose. But let's begin locally here with our weather tomorrow on Sunday. Dry conditions are forecast here up and down the western side of our state as some comparatively drier air works in from the north. That gives us rain opportunities even during the afternoon on Sunday, less than 30%. So if we do happen to see a widely isolated shower or two develop on Sunday, coverage would stay very low here in southwest Florida. Temperature-wise, though, it will still be warm with highs approaching the upper 80s on the beaches and then low to mid 90s for areas inland along into the east of Interstate 75, 92 in Fort Myers, 93 toward areas like Immokalee and Ave Maria. Now, Hurricane Jose will continue to move toward the north, and that's what's bringing in this drier air here and toward the state of Florida. So that's actually very good news for us because it helps to keep our rain opportunities lower as we move through Sunday, through Monday, and through Tuesday as well. The center of Jose will continue to move toward the north, parallel to the eastern side of the state of Florida. Now, longer term, it is a possibility that it could take a run toward the mid-Atlantic or the northeast states with at least some higher waves and some higher surf. But as of right now, the center of the system is forecast to remain just offshore as we move through the next few days. In other areas of the tropics, though, things have become an awful lot more active. Like I mentioned before, we now have Tropical Storm Lee and Tropical Storm Maria. So let's break it down in two pieces here and begin with Tropical Storm Lee. As of right now, this is forecast to remain a tropical storm for the next few days. But as you can see with the forecast cone, lift more toward the west and the northwest. As of the way things look right now, this does not appear to be a threat to Florida nor a threat to the United States. So we're going to monitor this one and keep you updated, of course, if anything changes. But as of right now, the system that is more concerning would be Tropical Storm Maria. Now, this one was born as of the 5 p.m. Saturday advisory from the National Hurricane Center, and this is why it is concerning. As you'll notice, it is moving toward the west and the northwest, which means areas that were just hit by Hurricane Irma here in the Lesser Antilles could once again be dealing with hurricane force winds as you move between Monday and Tuesday. It will also be moving toward an area of relatively low wind shear and very warm ocean temperatures, which means the potential is there for a Category 3 hurricane to impact Puerto Rico as we move through Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night. Now, of course, everyone wants to know, is it going to come to Florida? So let's break down two models here, the European model and the American model, to give you an idea of what we can expect here in the state of Florida. The current thinking of the European forecast model is that the system moves over Puerto Rico and then begins to curl toward the north well before it gets to the Bahamas and way before it gets to Florida. So as of right now, the European model holds this well outside of southwest Florida's boundaries and toward the north, so not a direct impact to us here in the state of Florida. The current thinking of the American model also brings the system right over top of the island of Puerto Rico and also curls the system toward the north eventually, but much further toward the west. This would have bigger impacts here to the islands of the Bahamas, but as you can see, not coming directly to the state of Florida or especially here to southwest Florida. So the current thinking of two very reliable forecast models is that the center of the system stays to the east of Florida. As we all know, this can and will change over the next couple of days, but as of right now, we are not worried about a direct impact here in southwest Florida. We, of course, will continue to bring you updates on Tropical Storm Maria, but what we know right now is that as it continues to develop, it appears Puerto Rico could bring the biggest impacts here with hurricane force winds by Wednesday. And again, when it comes to the state of Florida, it is too early to determine exactly what impacts, if any, this system could bring to us here. Our 7-day forecast continues with lower than normal rain opportunities all the way through Wednesday. We will notice more afternoon-driven downpours and thunderstorms starting on Thursday as highs consistently top out in the low 90s.
Sunday, September 17th, 9 p.m. Mountain Time, 2017. You're looking at Hurricane Maria, and it is forming fast and furious. Already, models are showing a Category 4 in the next 48 hours. Look for it to be a Cat 5. This is an extraordinary storm, and I will tell you why I know this here in just a minute. But first, if you're in these islands, take shelter. I'm sorry, but this storm is going to hit these islands very hard. This is a big, powerful storm, and it's going to go pretty much where Irma did. Sadly enough, I mean, guys, I'm sorry, but it's there. That's what it's going to do, so just be prepared. It's going to go right through here. The Virgin Islands are going to see strong impacts, probably Category 4, maybe Category 5 again, and I'll tell you why right here. This is the Caribbean visible loop, and I've also got another loop right here. This is the North Atlantic visible loop. If you want to learn something about hurricanes and their strength, here you go. Do you see what I see right here on the top of this storm? This is Maria here. This is Jose here. Jose is a Category 1. It's going to sit up here and it's going to balloon. It's going to get big. It's going to have a big wind field. And it may produce a lot of rain. But the eye wall is not going to go on to landfall. And I know it's still a Category 1 because the sun is down in this image and I don't see the top of the storm shining. I do on this one. Look at that. You just learned something right there. That's not lightning. This doesn't detect lightning. This is the sunlight side of Earth. This is dark. I'm stepping it forward a frame at a time. Now it's dark over here. Jose's not dark yet, but the sun's getting ready to go down. You see the top of the storm still shining? It's shimmering. That's sunlight. You don't see Jose doing that because it's not as tall as Maria. Maria is massive. Look at that. That's hours after sunset, and the top of this storm is reflecting sunlight. That is a very massive, strong storm, and it is going to be every bit of a Category 4, more than likely a high-maintenance Category 5. Okay, there's the islands again. This is from the National Hurricane Center. They are under a hurricane warning for a major hurricane in the next, well, they got this 8 a.m., actually 8 p.m. Monday night, tomorrow night. I believe that. Probably sooner. This is a bad storm, guys. Here's Jose. It's up here just spinning. It's going to balloon. You see how it's looking like a comma in the sky? That's what Sandy looked like, but it's not going to be like Sandy. This thing here is a whole nother cat. You're looking at Cat 4 in 48 hours. And just yesterday, it was a collection of clouds. Remember that? Those clouds right there are so tall, they're reflecting sunlight after dark. There you go. That tells you something about hurricane strength and what to expect. These islands, be prepared. Puerto Rico, be prepared. Santo Domingo, be prepared. Then it's going up into the Bahamas. This thing is probably going to track north. This is what I'm feeling. I'm not using the models anymore. I'm going back to my old school methods that have been pretty successful in the past. This thing's going to sweep north. Jose's predicted to do a loop and go back into the upper northeast for a landfall. Look for Maria to track north and go to the upper northeast as well. I don't know what category, but I know once it gets over here, these waters are very warm. So look for this thing to strengthen exponentially. And when I said fast and furious, I wasn't kidding. That is a major big cat, and it's getting ready to roar through the Atlantic again, the Virgin Islands. You guys need to hunker down because that thing there is going to rival Irma. I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That is a big, bad storm. Simple as that. Be prepared. Thanks for watching.